Look at that. It is Wednesday. It is 6:01 p.m. here on the West Coast. And we are live. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 416. Your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tom.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk all things Homelab, servers, networking, security, things that interest us, and it's often a good time. Let's see. What's the rest of my spiel? I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, right. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shout-outs as we go along. And if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description, and as a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, as well as all the other hosts from Talking Heads, and the awesome community that hangs out over there. Today's episode is also sponsored by Meter. More on them later in the video.
So first thing is, you're right. Well, I'm looking over here as I have the live stream pulled up. The weird thing I'm seeing is far less pronounced over here. I am very strange looking over here, like in the main thing, because of the loop back, but it's only a little bit on the main, so I'm okay now. It kind of looks, we were playing with filters, which only made us a minute late. So we solved this technical, we didn't solve it. We just said, we're doing it live.
Right. Tom is seeing like some weird Instagram filter on the Zoom feed. I'm kind of seeing it here, but all the filters are off. Like we went through and we checked all the different filtering inside of Zoom, and none of them are turned on. And in fact, if you turn them on, Tom gets some like really rosy cheeks and like some anime smoothing. Like it was really a good look, I will say.
The anime smoothing was kind of neat. And of course, everything has to be an upsell. So Zoom would like to upsell me to a pro version, make me look a little better.
Right.
We're going full Black Mirror here. You could look better for $9.99 a month.
Yeah, who can say what we really look like anyway? I mean,
who knows anymore? We just do this thing online, and who knows if any of us are real?
We're all just AI anyway.
Yeah. That'll be the fun point when you can replace us with AI and nobody knows we can replace it with AI.
Right.
Only we know because we're doing something completely else.
I do happen to know a creator who no longer does their own ad reads. They have AI synthesize all their ad reads and they just throw B-roll over the entire thing.
I would say we know a creator that does this.
Yes, we do know this creator. Yes.
And it works really well.
It does. Yeah. As someone who had to refilm an ad 3 times for different revisions this week, I get it. I'm starting to get it.
I have played with some of the, for anyone wondering, 11 Labs is a lot of fun and it's really inexpensive.
Yeah. I
have liked it for voice masking, but for actual, you can do something short and you wouldn't be able to tell. I sent so many messages to my friend with it. I've spent stupid amount of money, not a lot of money, enough money on it, because I like sending voice messages to my friends in their own voice. Yeah. And because I have other friends that are creators that I can easily find samples of their voice from. And it's always making them say the dumbest things. And I send it directly to them because I think it's just great.
That's funny.
But it has a very deadness to it if you try to do anything long form. Like if you read an ad read, you could get away with it. You can get rid of a few sentences. But I've tried much longer, like pumping in a video script to it.
Yeah.
There's such a deadness to it that I notice it and I go, okay, it doesn't have the life yet.
It's not dynamic. There's no there's no ebbs and flows to the vote. And I will say, when I'm doing Talking Heads is kind of like my normal talking cadence, maybe a little bit exaggerated. I do want to speak clearly. I want to make sure that I'm not slurring my words or being misconstrued in any way. So I up the clarity of my voice a little bit here. On my main videos, I up my main speaking voice quite a bit. I want to be very pronounced, very precise when I'm doing that, and so it's almost like newscaster style.
Yeah.
But when I'm just talking, I'm just shooting the crap with someone. Like,
now, for those not familiar, the voice masking is where I will sample Jeff's voice. I say the words, and all I have to do is express myself and use mannerisms like Jeff,
Right.
and I can put the enthusiasm in it in a right place. Hi, I'm Jeff, and then it would be be in his voice. Those are kind of fun. They're just fun to play with.
Yep. All right. Drinks for tonight. I usually let the guests go first. So what do you got going for tonight?
I did not grab a drink, but I do have. I was having tea because it's, but it's not the coffee, but it was tea. So I thought someone would enjoy my cup at least.
I do love that cup. That is great.
It is a very large cup of tea.
So I love tea too, but tonight I figured since you were going to be on the show, I was going to try to surprise you a little bit. I'm doing some whiskey tonight. So
I will grab some time in between now and end of show. So.
Excellent. Yeah. I
just wanted to start with the tea. It is freezing. It is snowing, and I just got back from dinner with friends before I sat down and joined you. So
yeah,
because it's later. I'm on East Coast time for those wondering.
Yep. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make a Kentucky Mule because I love a good mule. So I've got a fresh lime here, and I have my all new Smith blade.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, Hacksmith made these knives, and they are incredible. I finally got mine in.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, they make really nice things. I've also got the lightsaber. I use it to clean all my 3D prints. It's great. So I'm going to juice half of a lime into my cup here. And I don't have a juicer, so I'm literally just squeezing it by hand, which is my preferred method.
Truly old-fashioned.
Yep.
Going old school here.
I've got a little bit of Demerara syrup. So a really, really nice, simple syrup. Nice and thick. Pours kind of like maple syrup does. Here we go. We're just going to do about a half ounce of that. Drop that in. Cool. Then for my bourbon, rest in peace, Rogue Distilling. So Rogue was a brewery and distillery here out of Newport, Oregon, over on the coast. They decided 2 weeks before Christmas to declare Chapter 7 and close their stores and have all their employees show up with chains on the doors.
You're speaking in the past tense there.
Yeah. Yeah, they are gone. Rogue Dead Guy Ale, I'm sure you've heard of that. That's them.
Oh.
Yep. They are gone. Like overnight,
no longer.
they just vanished. I had this bottle sitting around. This is their Rogue Dead Guy whiskey. So this is distilled in Oregon. It's an actual Oregon whiskey. And this one, instead of being barrel aged in their stout barrels, this is actually Cabernet wine finished. And it's quite delicious. It's way overkill for a Moscow Mule. Don't use good whiskey in a Moscow Mule. But this is the only whiskey I had on hand right now. Do about 1.5 ounces of that. And then top it off. Oh God, where's my bottle opener at? There we go.
We already got a super chat.
Ooh, excellent. And then top it off with some ginger beer. I went with some Cock and Bull, which is fantastic. And I even have the proper glass.
You gotta have, any mule has to be done in a proper mule.
It's got to be the copper mug. Yep.
It's not the same if you don't.
That's right. And there we go. One Moscow Mule. Or Kentucky Mule, because since it's bourbon.
Yeah.
Got the metal straw, got the...
Ooh, and the metal straw.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we go all out here.
You're making me want to get a drink.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yes, that's exactly what I needed tonight.
So I feel I was just had too busy of a day bidding out things for some clients and doing some site visits, coordinating projects. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when someone starts out the conversation, so we need 50 kVA a rack.
Okay.
Yeah. How many racks can we get here? Well, let's start in the power room of this building.
Yeah. 3?
Turns out there was even a spare. They have 480 coming in. So,
nice. Okay.
Yeah. There's hope.
We've got a shot then. Okay.
we've got a shot. I think we can pull this off in this location.
Cool. Cosworth chimes in for $5. Thank you so much. At Tom, important question for you. Zigbee or Z-Wave? Meshtastic or Mesh Core? RGB or even more RGB?
The more RGB one's easy to answer because I keep adding more RGB as noted behind me. I use a mix of Zigbee and Z-Wave. I don't discriminate. If it begins with a Z, I'm happy with it. You know, the Meshtastic Mesh Core argument is an interesting one. Boy, does it seem polarizing, as I only recently, I helped a couple of my friends move over the holiday, and as a gift, because he knew I wanted it, but I've been not wanting to dive down the rabbit hole of Meshtastic, so he just gifted me some Meshtastic stuff. And I'm like, okay, so I put it together and started playing with it. And of course, I ran right into the wall of, it's like arguing Linux distros, only there's just two camps right now so far. We have Meshtastic and Mesh Core. I'm still playing with Meshtastic. I like it. I like the ad hoc nature of it because I think it's just kind of fun. I like the structure of Mesh Core, but I don't know that we're going to get these two camps to agree, and I don't know enough about it because I'm such a noob, as in I've only had a couple days of playing with it, so I can't really answer this. Like I have not chosen a side. Please don't attack me.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm aggravated because when I started looking into these LoRa devices running Meshtastic, Jeff did a video of him like a year ago, and I figured I'll wait for it to mature some. Instead of maturing, they've schismed. And now there's two standards.
Right.
There'll be 4 if I wait any longer.
Good times. All right. CES was last week.
Yeah.
I didn't go, and I've heard from quite a few other people who also didn't go, and I don't think we missed too much, honestly.
I didn't really get anything all that groundbreaking as far as lots of the news. The usual collection of why did someone make that? A couple silly things here and there, but it didn't seem to be as hyped, and I thought at least I would see some coverage of you won't believe this thing, but even the clickbait turned out to be minimal coming out of it. I think it was just kind of a shoulder shrug going, oh, I guess that happened. But maybe that's a sign of something good. Like we just didn't stuff AI in a bunch of stupid stuff. I mean, I'm sure they did, but it's finally losing its hype. I think the biggest headline was Dell going, we realized people don't buy computers because of AI.
Right, because we shoved AI.
The biggest announcement was the anti-AI announcement.
And that was perfect.
Dell.
That was exactly what they needed to do. And there's companies out there like Razer who are doing waifu chatbots, and that was a real announcement from Razer, by the way. Is a virtual waifu that will go on your desktop and you can customize and be a chatbot locally. Yeah.
I did really laugh. I think it's Lenovo who had the screen that lifted up itself and tracked you. Mm-hmm. There's 0 times I've needed that. So a problem looking for a solution. I don't know. I didn't like the few things I seen were kind of amusing, but I was like, they built that? I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. Like some products you see that come out, like I think 2020 was the year that foldable OLEDs were going everywhere. Like every new device that came out was some kind of a prototype folding screen or rollable screen or whatever else. And I looked at all of them and I went, all of these are stupid. Now, I think they deserve to exist because you're not going to refine or mature a technology unless you put it in a product, let it live a life cycle, then refine it and do revisions, and then, okay, now we found a use case for this. That's fine. That's normal product experimentation. With the AI thing, if you can't do more than a chatbot, we've had Siri on iPhones since 2010. Like, that's not groundbreaking. It needs to be more than that. And while I'm looking at like some of the AI things, security cameras getting smarter, having a little bit more context aware as far as, object and person detection and things like that. I like that, but that's not exactly groundbreaking, and it's not exactly going to sell me new products either. But you see like, oh, we have a screen that'll tilt towards you. It's like, you know what else I could do? I could reach out my hand and go, and adjust the angle. Like, some things don't need a motor and a brain and a camera and a Wi-Fi connection and 30 possible failure points.
You don't need a laptop that the screen rolls up over its edge.
Right.
That just, and by the way, Linus had talked about that thing a long time ago, because that was the one he showcased on when he was doing a talk show, I think. I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever late night show. It was that weird time when I'm like, why is Linus on a late night show? Why is this in my YouTube feed?
Yeah.
So
I guess
I remember him talking about that.
I think he's on Jimmy Kimmel again, he's on Fallon, I think, again tomorrow.
Oh,
they're bringing him back on to do like CES talk. So cool. I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of like oohs and ahs, I've never once bought a 12-inch laptop and thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if it could extend into a wider display?
You know, the one thing I think's kind of neat, and this may be a product and I'm just not in the know, like I have a curved ultra wide.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing one that you could curve more or flatten out. Did they ever turn it into a product? I remember seeing a demo of it. Is that a buyable product, or
was that Corsair that did that?
It was kind of, I thought it was just kind of neat that you could like bring it in around you. The only reason I think it's cool at all is my weird one use case that most people probably don't have. Because I sit in front of the Ultra screen, I had some friends that were over today. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. When I'm feeling weird when I sit towards the end and we scoot and we're both in front of the monitor.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, cool, you can flatten this out. It would just feel less awkward. But I can't really, like, I either want it a certain curve. I guess maybe there's some people who want like just the right amount of curve, but that's the closest I can come to like a really good use case for the foldable OLED screens that I've seen. This is like, you bend it around your head a little.
Right. At that point, just get a headset. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Just catch your hands. See, someone said they got a plasma.
Yep. Zeus chimes in with $5. I went to CES and all I got was the flu and a newfound ability to increase Chips and Cheese's blood pressure. That's so much fun to do.
Hey, why not?
Is get George ramped up about things. It's so much fun.
Fun times.
Yep. Anyway, something not released at CES, but instead we have some leaked info about, is potentially an Intel return to the high-end desktop market. This has been kind of speculated on for a number of years and kind of soft released. I believe we got some Sapphire Rapids chips, but Intel has been suspiciously absent from high-end desktop and kind of ceded the entire thing to Threadripper since Threadripper launched. But this chip, oops, and of course I forgot to
put it in there.
Yep, hold on. Firefox.
It's really top. We had to redact a lot of it. It's super
There we go. Yeah. Hold on, let me highlight the text. Maybe I can read you some of the bullet points.
Yeah.
According to video cards, Intel has a 6980X Granite Rapids WS SKU confirmed with 86 cores and 336 megabytes of L3 cache. This would be a significantly cut down version from their top end SKU of Granite Rapids, which is Xeon 6 6980p, I believe is what that SKU is called, which has 128 cores on board. So this SKU, to me, isn't their top end SKU. This would be their second SKU, or their second tier SKU, because Granite Rapids has 3 distinct compute dies with 43 physical cores each. And they do 43, 43, and 42 to get you to 128. And so this, to me, says it's not the 3 compute unit, it's the 2 compute die unit with 86 cores. So as exciting as it is to see Intel, putting up a workstation chip, I don't think this is their top-end model yet.
I mean, it's good to know they got something in a pipeline, and they're going to try to. I like competition in the market.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think the real competition is, me and you noted several episodes ago, is you got to build something as fast as the M Series Max.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the gauntlet has really been set down.
Yeah. I mean, here I am 2 months later, still on my M4 powered base model Mac Mini.
Yeah, and going, damn, why did I spend all that money on another computer?
Right? Yep.
At least I can play games on the other one.
$599 and a Thunderbolt dock, and this is my entire workstation now. I've been jamming on this thing for 2 months. Every video edited December and January has been on this. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Kind of a segue. Did you see the Veritasium video talking about how they manufacture chips, the machine they use for it?
No.
Oh, it is so good. It is definitely one of the better ones he's released, simply because I did not understand the complexity. I mean, I knew it, but didn't really grasp the complexity of the machine that flicks atoms around at high speed to land them on places. Like, it's flicking atoms around until we build these CPUs. It is like the most rudimentary way I can describe it. It's probably a 30-minute video, but boy, was it fun to watch. And just see the level of detail that we've come and how we can get these really incredible chips made. And it also shows the complexity of, why can't manufacturers just turn the dial up and make us more RAM so the market would not be so expensive for RAM? Well, when you realize how complicated the chip machines are that are making these, you're like, those are I think it was summed up as, this is a $400 million machine that has to go into a $2 billion facility. Each one of these.
Yep.
So, yes.
I have now gotten 2 fab tours, full bunny suit fab tours. The most recent one was in Arizona, down in Chandler. Intel had us down there to check out their new facility for 18A manufacturing, which was... It was cool, but it wasn't the best fab tour that I've gotten. The best fab tour that I've gotten was at Intel's Hillsboro campus here in Oregon, where we got to check out DG1, DG4, and a couple of their other buildings, including seeing one of the $400 million EUV machines exploded out because it was being installed.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much of this I'm allowed to talk about today, and that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In
Veritasium, that's what they did, was really dive deep into that machine,
right,
and showing how it worked, and it was cool.
What I can tell you is I understand very little about how it works. It was really interesting seeing how it's put into place, because the building, you walk in and there are these massive complexes from the outside, but then you walk in and it's literally like just a 15-foot tall single-story building. Well, that's only because you forget the fact they also dug 2 stories down for infrastructure and another story up on top that is completely sealed off from the rest of it. So they have water, power, noble gases, and everything else running through the basements, as well as some of the machinery and moving parts and things like that. They have a track system overhead that moves all of the wafer carriers around this facility. They're entirely automated. You walk up, or they're all programmed. You say, okay, you need to go to station 397B for refinement, and it'll take that carrier board 7 miles through this facility and land it at that particular machine that it needs to go to. And start doing the process, like unload the machine, put it into it, do all its processes, load the carrier back up, and then set it to the next thing. Yeah, just seeing these machines blown up is just so freaking cool.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those, let's just bring manufacturing to a location or ramp it up. The complexities, the supply chain, all the stuff, and how many years it takes just to assemble a machine. It's not even about money.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of money out there for all the investments we've seen in other things. You would think, well, invest in more manufacturing. Like, until you realize how complicated of a thing that is.
Yeah.
Puts it into perspective.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely insane. One of the coolest things that I got to see on the Hillsboro tour, I think I can say this now, is we got to see Sapphire Rapids test chips coming off the line. And this was before Sapphire Rapids was unveiled. They had like Sapphire Rapids was on the roadmap, and they had shown like die shots of it, but they hadn't like gone into details. And Ian Cuttress and I were walking through this facility, and we stopped at one of these machines that had one of the wafer carriers, and it's offloading, and then it's got an automatic microscope, and it's doing basically fault detection on these. And Ian goes, "Jeff, over here." And we lean down over this machine, and he goes, "Do you see what I see?" And I went, "Sapphire?" And he goes, "Yeah." Because you could see the two massive dies and the little I/O in the middle, and that was cool.
That is neat.
And it's like, okay, we can't talk about this for 3 years. Incredible.
I know we've got at the end of our list, but I think it's worth mentioning the Verizon outage.
Oh, yeah.
I think people who are still facing that outage probably aren't even watching us. Or maybe they are because they have internet and it's just their phones that are down and things like that. But I'm really hoping Verizon gives a debrief because this is some epic failure at the scale it happened at.
Yeah, this was a nationwide outage. So for those who don't know, Verizon went down today. I mean, entirely. According to Down Detector, just the people who reported peaked at 181,000 users reported the outage. And it lasted for about 2 hours as far as like the main outage, but there's still well over 5,000, 10,000 reports still coming in. These are just reports. So people are still reporting that Verizon is down and in very large numbers.
As of, because I nodded over at a group chat I got going on for my cybersecurity friends, there's a handful of them that are East-ish coast, and they are out still. They said, will my phone even work today is what they just posted.
It's like... No, and as you can see, it's really, I mean, there's little points here and there. There's some in Phoenix, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. Some reports coming from some major metros. But you can see New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., they're still like red across the board.
Yeah, for a little while, the Verizon outage map and Verizon coverage map were the same.
It was one and the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, both red.
Both red. Yeah, so there was an outage in Quebec, so it went outside the U.S.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
Hey, whatever they broke it at the core, clearly.
Yeah. I guarantee this is a BGP mismatch. This is some main core architecture of their network went down.
Yeah. I think it was T-Mobile and AT&T had some fun on their social accounts. It's not us. It's only something like that. Our systems are up, but you can't call your friends at Verizon.
Yeah.
Don't ask us why. Hey, why not? Why not poke fun at Verizon? Because even Verizon acknowledged it. I looked at their social accounts. Like, we're having a problem.
Yes.
We're not going to hide from this one. Yep. Everyone seems to know. Yep. It's not just you.
It stays like today. I don't miss being in that world day in, day out, being the contact person for some of these problems.
Yeah. Verizon, they haven't had a giant screw up in a while. Their last giant screw up was not cell phone related. It was BGP related.
Right.
Verizon, at the time I knew some people, so I did a story or YouTube video, and this is back in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
Verizon accepted a route that was announced from a little company in Pittsburgh. And I do mean little company. And this matters because this little company accidentally put the decimals in the wrong place and the ASN in the wrong place, and they announced, we own Amazon space. And Verizon goes, accept. And when they accepted it, they got all of Amazon's traffic for a little while. And that was one of the AWS outages, actually not caused by AWS at all. It was completely caused by Verizon accepting a route without checking it.
Yeah.
It's some tiny little business that only had a really small block of IPs ended up taking on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it became very hard to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, BGP, when it breaks, because
it's epic.
Yeah, because of the reliance of other services on that, and because BGP is designed to self-heal, if it breaks in a way in which it cannot restore the connection that's severed, it will cascade down, and you have to take each node offline and then bring the main node back up and then reconnect everything back up. You can't just like, oh, sorry, accidentally unplugged that, my bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that.
You know what I thought about today? Someone says, one thing about being a YouTuber is no pager duty. Oh, but it's better. There's also no Slack messages. There's no Teams messages. I have neither. I was thinking that. I was like, I don't even have a Slack on my system anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I have it from because I left a company, so it still exists on my system.
Yeah.
I have not opened it since I left.
Yeah.
And that was in November.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's the best feeling of that. I'm still doing consulting, but purposely.
Yeah.
No, there is no, because I refer out contracts for people like, oh, I'd like to support contract. I'm like, I have absolutely the person for you.
Right.
I will have them contact you and we will get this sorted out.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm still on emergency text chains for a couple of different clients that have just never removed me. And so I get like Certus notifications and outage notifications and things like that. It's like, I don't care anymore. And I've tried to remove myself and gone like, no, I'm not the contact anymore. That's this. I've gotten phone calls that say, hey, our tech will be out at 10 o'clock. It's like, well, I won't be there.
Yeah.
That hasn't been my site in 10 years.
I've had the same phone number now for 27 years.
Yeah.
So I still get stuff once in a while, and I'm like, not my problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I've had the same number since 2003. So yeah, about the same.
Yeah. Once you have that number that long, yeah. And there's no getting off of those lists.
Right.
Oh, that's life.
Yep. Oh.
We're also less directly impacted. We could just smile and giggle at all the Microsoft Enslopification of their system.
Exactly. But yeah,
they're making it a real pain for IT providers. I did not have I could see the headline. I probably should have read more of it to talk about it in a more intelligent way. But then again, I don't have to, and you guys can read the headline. I'll just mention it to you. Microsoft's doing something kind of fun.
Yeah.
No one will buy Copilot, so what they're doing is they're putting Copilot up with the other licenses. And completely a coincidence, increasing the price of those other licenses.
Yeah.
It's not because we're charging you for Copilot now, but seeing as if you want an E5 license, you're going to have to buy Copilot.
Yeah. Not only that, they're renaming Office 365 to Copilot App 365.
Yes, Copilot App 365.
Yeah. So now Microsoft can say, look at all this Copilot adoption that we've had over the last year. It's grown 100-fold. People love Copilot. Everyone's installing it.
Everyone's installing it. Look at the number of base installs we have for Copilot now.
Yeah. And that point was really driven home recently for me because I don't have very many Windows PCs left in the house. I've obviously got a Mac here. I do have our two desktops upstairs are both Windows. One of them is Windows 10. I need to replace that, and then the other is Windows 11, and I'm probably going to go with Linux or Bazite or something on that. But my gaming machine downstairs, I got on it this morning, and it came up with the please finish setting up your account and make sure you have a Microsoft Live account so you can say it's like, I don't need authentication of my local system going through Microsoft. I don't need to be locked out if I lose internet. I don't need the crap that you're trying to deliver. It's a PC that I run that runs my software, not that you can influence your own BS on. But that got me thinking today about the whole Mac ecosystem, because obviously we've both switched to Mac pretty recently.
Yeah.
Me switched back after a brief hiatus. But people are like, well, Apple's just the same. Apple has Siri, and they've got their own services. You know, they've got their own iCloud services that they want to deliver you to, and cloud storage and email and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what the difference is? Apple's asked me once.
Yep.
And then there's a button that says no. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. What I'm not okay with is every 2 weeks, my PC restarting itself and then booting up and then saying, hey, would you like to create a Microsoft Live account now? No, I don't. Hey, would you like to register for Copilot? No, I don't. Hey, would you like to sign up for Office 365 backups to keep all your... No, I don't. Stop. Stop it.
Yeah, it's so much simpler with the Mac. It's I didn't realize, I don't really use Windows much, but I played with some of the Windows stuff. I'm like, this is so bad. And then I never messed with Mac much. Now that I've messed with Mac a lot more, I'm like, yeah, I'm not being annoyed very often. Matter of fact, there's an update. Cool. I load the update. You know what it doesn't do after it updates? Ask me to start signing up for Apple things I don't want.
Yep. I did just update mine to Tahoe, and it did ask if I wanted to enable Apple Intelligence, and I said nope. Because that was a new integration with the operating system, which sure, if you want to advertise a new feature on a new OS, hey, this thing's here. Do you want it? Nope. Okay, we won't ask again.
Yeah, it is just...
What a concept.
Crazy idea. Crazy idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of the Verizon outage, you know what's great when you're... if you're a business owner or whatever else, not having to deal with that. Not having to deal with it all yourself.
Yeah.
Much like the sponsor of today's episode, Meter.
You read that, I'll grab a drink.
Yes, absolutely. While I enjoy tinkering on my Homelab here, building out my servers, all that kind of stuff, and I spent nearly 20 years as an IP professional doing that, not every business has a Jeff working for them. And managing your network infrastructure without a Jeff can be challenging. Dealing with different vendors for firewalls, switching, Wi-Fi, and when something goes wrong, it all can grind your business to a halt. That's where Meter comes in. Meter delivers an all-in-one networking stack that bundles everything you need into a single package, including high-speed wired and wireless networking, power delivery, firewall and routing, and even cellular, all in a single integrated solution that's built for performance and scalability. Meter handles everything from network design, procurement, installation, and will even negotiate with ISPs to get you the best rates on internet connectivity. All of that shows up in a single cloud-based dashboard, giving you clear visibility into every layer of your network. You get the connectivity your business needs, all for a predictable monthly cost. Best of all, there's no upfront expenses. Meter ships the hardware you need today and will automatically upgrade your hardware as time goes on, ensuring your users and your business always have the tools and connectivity they need. Whether you're starting a new business, expanding to new locations, or simply modernizing an aging network, let Meter take care of the hassle for you. Visit meter.com/craftcomputing to book a demo today, or follow the link down in the video description. Again, that's meter.com/craftcomputing, and a huge thanks to Meter for sponsoring today's episode. It is so nice when you can simply hire people to take care of the things for you. It is so great. And as Jay says, nice.
My tea got bigger.
Yes.
I'm gonna use a different cup though. This would be excessive.
That's a lot of rye.
There's a lot of rye in here, but we're gonna just go with the proper drinking glass for this.
There you go. Jay says, somewhere a Meter marketing exec just had a single tear of joy drip from their eye and doesn't know why. Yep, when it's not your problem to deal with, that's the best thing to do.
I seen someone talking about ways to disable things like that in Windows. There is a GitHub project, probably several of them now, that are the Enslopification of removing things and removing some of that crap from there. Because part of the problem is, even if you remove it, it seems like you have to run it again, because when there's major version updates, I feel like they just... I remember it was them even resetting privacy settings that you previously said, of prompting you again for them and things like that. So,
as someone who spent the majority of my career in a Windows ecosystem, managing Active Directory and all kinds of very complicated systems like that, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, fantastic. Windows 10 was the beginning of the downfall, though, of Active Directory as far as management goes, because... for those who aren't familiar, you have Windows Registry, which handles all of the if-then statements inside of the operating system. If this setting, then do this action. And then there's also Group Policy, which is very similar to that. Group Policy is your rules of the operating system, what services it's allowed to run, what it's not, what actions users are allowed to take, what they're not. Windows 7 was amazing because you could dial down every last single 0 and 1 of an operating system and define its actions and characteristics to exactly the way you wanted them. So if you wanted to lock down a system and only allow certain users internet access, or only be able to launch certain applications, or set a desktop background a certain way, or all this kind of stuff. Any amount of customization you want to do to the OS, getting Group Policy, set a policy for it, apply it to your users downstream. It applies via the machine or via the user or both. It was great. With Windows 10, we started getting undocumented group policies where the group policy was present but not visible. We started getting undocumented registry keys where they weren't in the registry at all, but if you add them in, you can add arguments to certain features. We also got Microsoft starting to ignore registry and group policy keys for specific applications. Specifically, applications like OneDrive and Office 365 and Teams and consumer experience, which is a fancy way of saying ad tracking, and all of this other crap that they're jamming down your throat. With Windows 11, they've taken so much control of individual client PCs away from systems administrators who have legitimate reasons to want to lock these machines down in either corporate or medical or education or financial environments, that they need data security above all else. And forcing things like Copilot and recall. These are massive security vulnerabilities waiting to happen.
Crush.
and they're all undocumented, and Microsoft just straight up doesn't want administrators of systems. Like, if you think it's bad enough as like an individual like a gaming PC owner going, Microsoft doesn't let me do what I want to do with my PC, try owning literally tens of thousands of client PCs and a full Active Directory environment system and not being able to control your PCs, having random Microsoft updates and software apply that undermine your network security. That's a bigger problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is just insane to me. Like, they just, beta test it on our users, change things at will, not care about privacy or security, knowing that you have a monopoly. Because what are you going to do? Use a different operating system for your enterprise line of business application that only runs in Windows?
Yep. They know they can do no wrong, and they know it's not their problem, because what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
Yep.
Insert South Park meme?
Yep, exactly.
Use another cable company?
Oh, darn it.
Oh, darn it.
Cosworth chimes in for $5. So, Tom, gotten a BC250 yet? You know what a BC250 is?
That's the thing you had, the wild thing that is now someone's been writing drivers for.
Yes.
I just know it's called a BC250. I don't remember all the details of it, but I watched your video on it. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's the PlayStation 5 decommissioned APUs on a PC motherboard. Yes.
That weird device that you've acquired.
You know what I'm waiting for someone to do?
What's that?
A BC250 is just a PC motherboard with a PC BIOS that happens to have the PlayStation 5 APU on board. And it has the same APU and the same memory that a PlayStation 5 would. Except this one's a binned down version. It has 6 cores instead of 8 cores, and it has 28 compute units instead of 40 compute units of graphics processor. Has someone BGA solder swapped a retail PS5 APU? Would someone be willing to sponsor $500 so I can go buy a PlayStation 5 and give it a shot?
Do you have the BGA thing?
I know people who can reflow, so I'm sure we could get it done. I wonder if we could get like a fully unlocked BC250 by swapping the APU. That'd be fun. It'd be stupid, but it'd be fun. And it probably wouldn't work, and it'd require a lot of BIOS mod. It might require BIOS modification. It might not, because it's technically the same silicon. It's just what is fused off in the in the chip.
Yeah. Franken BC 250 is what someone said. We'll go with that.
Right?
Someone asked a question earlier that I think is poignant. So I mentioned that there's a GitHub thing that will unslopify some of your Microsoft stuff. Yeah. And they said, well, they don't read code, so that's hard to read. And I think that goes to something bigger that I've been noodling around this because I debated about making a list of them because I look at a lot of these self-hosted things, and there's all these different, because I look up self-hosted things, you probably see this too. Sometimes you get your news feed because Google goes, we would like to suggest news things to you. And the things that suggest to me are like insert name of some company that did a blog post on the latest, this Docker saved me so much time, clickbait title. But I realized there's a lot of them lately, them popping up, that this is just a habit I have for playing with computers and GitHub for a long time and thinking about the people who write the software. I go see a project and I go, who wrote it? Is it that Linus Torvalds guy again? Is he up to something cool? Or is it somebody who started yesterday and the other contributor to this project was Claude? And so I'm starting to see a lot of that where a lot of people, and hey, hats off. I think they've discovered GitHub, discovered Claude, and have money for tokens, and dropped in some tokens, and the vibes came out. They rocked the jukebox here and just vibe coded a whatever it is. Yeah. But I'm realizing that's where some of the big problems. Now, I don't know. I don't think RustFS was done this way. They're an S3 replacement for like MinIO, but they did have some stuff. People were blaming vibe coding. I haven't really gone back and looked at it, but I did say, hey, I thought RustFS was pretty cool. And of course, after I say that, that's when they find a big vulnerability that was baked in there. It's open source, so it didn't take a lot to find it. Right. And of course, like N8N is leaning into AI, even though they have some level of coding in there, and they've had a lot of vulnerabilities. But the lesser unchecked things that keep posted up in the self-hosted subreddits, the home users of, hey, check out this new Docker container, that's where I get concerned. Is a lot of them lately have been by people who just popped up. They don't have a GitHub history. There's not a bunch of little green dots. Matter of fact, there's no history at all. Their first project was the thing you're just going, oh, Docker pull this cool thing. What could possibly be baked in? Oh, it'll scan my whole network and make a map? Yeah, why not? It needs authorization to talk to everything on my network? Granted. Let's just run with it. I think this is going to be, it's not that there's malicious intent in these people, but it's kind of like the days of old when we had all these browser plugins that were a lot of college kids' projects. Yeah. That after they're out of college, they're trying to find a job, they have some debt, and some random account, certainly not from some nefarious actor, comes up and goes, I'd like to buy that project that has many, many installs and take it over since you're already approved and you're already in people's browsers. Yep. And then they start pushing malware updates. How long before some of these vibe coded things become the same thing? It has an install base. The person lost interest. They ran out of vibe tokens. The AI bubble implodes. I don't know what happens, but the project becomes unmaintained but still popular because it served its function that it did, and all these Homelab people are using it untested, and well, it just got an update. Yep. Called, whatever the new scam will be after things fall. Who knows what it'll be. Can we just go back? As dumb as I thought it was, can we just go back to NFTs? Like, I didn't like it, but it was less worse than what's going on now. Right. People, I did see someone brought up NFTs the other day. It was a stupid meme on Reddit, but it really had me chuckling. And it says, my dad called me and asked what the stupid monkey things I spent money on were. And I said, do you mean those NFTs I bought, Dad? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we're trying to figure out the dumbest financial things our kids have done. So far, you're winning. Just...
That's a solid response.
It's a solid response. All those people that bought all those little apes.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Vibe coins all the way down. Is it we put vibe coins in a jukebox and code comes out in some form?
I think that's kind of how it works.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah. Like I'm always for making your projects, whether it be work, personal, hobby, whatever, more efficient, faster, easier, more accessible. Cool. The thing is, at the end of the day, if you're going to stamp your name to something, it still needs to be vetted, verified, running. Open source does not necessarily mean secure. Open source does not mean it's been checked. It simply means you have the ability to. And so, yeah, all these vibe-coded Docker containers that people are slinging around, you don't know what's on there. Open source simply means that you can read it. It doesn't mean that you understand it or that it's verified or good.
Yeah. In RustFS, they had baked in a credential in the open source code. And that's normally stuff that gets found right away in open source code.
Yeah.
Baked in credentials. What? No. And it wasn't nefarious. It was clearly, I mean, if it wasn't vibe coded, it was natural human stupidity. So
right.
I can't tell if it's artificial. I prefer all natural stupidity in my code. Because as someone pointed out, it's not like vibe coding is where the problem began. Oh, no, it's not. We had stupidity long before then.
Yeah.
I mean, 40net was just in the news again, and I don't think they were vibe coding this stuff. They run MySQL as root on their own systems. Yeah. They didn't need ChatGPT to do that.
They didn't need any help. They did that all on their own.
All on their own.
Cosworth chimes in with another $5. Thank you so much, Cos. I am so happy that when I awoke from my heart surgery, I didn't see a Windows 11 and Copilot running the machines keeping me alive. Yeah. Jay sends over $5, and I do know Jay works in the medical profession. They are massive security issues, talking about Copilot, Office 365, lack of control in Active Directory and such. And guess what executive leadership has forced on us at a hospital? Yeah. Yep. Terrapup, $5. Thank you. I am being forced to use Azure. We have a ton of personally identifiable info. I am not a happy pup. In fact, he looks like a terrified pup. So. And then this one just came in from Jason, $5. Thank you so much, Jason. Much appreciated. No issues with vibe coding. The problem is building shit and having zero idea how it works. And you make a bad app filled with holes and bad practices. Yeah. Vibe coding is the definition of spaghetti code because there's no comments. You don't know what functions do. You don't know what's loaded. You don't know. And I'm not a programmer even. So I'm literally just talking on my ass here. But if you don't know how the program works, it's hard to troubleshoot when something goes wrong. I mean,
but it gets better. We had this epic LinkedIn post. It just was so delicious because it was so stupid. They had already got funding for this really stupid, I couldn't remember exactly what it did, social media product of some sort. But it would do a bunch of scraping of social media posts to build sales funnels. Basically the thing I hate, like everything about it I hated, which has made the post more delicious.
Yeah.
What this person had done is vibe coded their way into this product, got funding for the product before someone pointed out a security flaw with it. In this modern program as it was written, they had decided, the AI had decided, no one who knew what this thing was doing, just let it do. All the validation was done client side. They had somehow inverted in programming it. So basically, once you realize it loaded all the validation, you could just change your account number information in what was loaded into your browser. So people open it up and go, wow. And then they used it for all the scraping it was doing to just imitate all their other customers and pull all the data from all their customers. And they did a LinkedIn post to how they were thankful someone pointed this out to them and everything else. But it was like, this is coded from ground zero wrong. Yep. But then the owner just doubled down on his stupidity and going, yeah, we just figured minimum viable product. And once we had funding, we'd fix it later once we had customers. And just they were like, we love transparency. I'm like, this is criminal. These people have money.
Yeah. AT&T probably still owes me a bug bounty because I found a vulnerability in AT&T's wireless website. once and reported it, and never heard anything back. But I know it got patched. They're kind of like Konami code. There was a series of inputs that you could make on their website of clicking a banner for like one of their ads, like get a free Samsung phone for signing up for a new account. And then if you went back, and then it was like a series of like back forth kind of things. When I went back to my account page, I was logged in on someone else's account. And I'm like, surely that's not right. And I hit refresh, and it gave me someone else's account. And so I closed the website. I logged out. I closed my browser. I opened it back up. I logged back into my account. I went through like the same process of like, click this ad, go back, click this thing, go over here. It logged me into someone else's account now. I could see their full history, their billing information, billing address, credit card, everything. With another couple hours, I probably could have figured out how to target specific individuals with it. Not just get like random ones, because somewhere one of their banner ads, I believe, was setting a cookie that was overriding part of your authentication token. The best that I could like ascertain how it was happening. And so because you were logged in, you had an auth cookie for AT&T, and by clicking on an ad and backing up really quick, it was overriding that with garbage data. But that data was another account. And now you're logged in as that account, fully authenticated. So I got on a couple of different phone calls with people and reported it, and I assume it got patched out. But
filed away as a can't reproduce. Hopefully that person quits calling.
Right. Probably.
The fun of it all.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Do you want to watch an organic movie, a regular movie, or an AI movie?
Skull wants to know, is this code organic?
Yes, this is code organic.
And speaking of Skull, hold on. I'm going to segue real quick because I have a box to open. From Skull.
Oh, nice.
So occasionally in my office, I get boxes sent in from people who I like, and they usually send some really good stuff. And I think what's in here is going to be really good. So, and I love this because it's a box within a box.
Ooh.
2025 Bourbon County Barrel Aged Stout. This is the baklava, made with pistachios, walnut, honey, and cassia bark. So, Skull happens to live way closer to Bourbon County than I do, so he can get all the special bottles. I can only get like the standard 2025 Bourbon County. So there's that one. Oh my god. Bourbon County brand stout, double barrel aged in 7-year-old bourbon barrels from Haven Hill. Yum. This box is awesome,
nice.
Too. So aged 1 year in Heaven Hill bottled and bond, and then aged again another year in another set, a completely different set of Heaven Hill bottled and bond barrels. So
that's awesome.
2 full years of barrel aging, swapping barrels midway through. That's freaking cool.
Very cool.
And then this one,
I have some barrel aged honey, which is actually really good.
Oh.
They put honey in bourbon barrels, and it gives it a dark, smoky taste. It's no alcohol and it's honey, but
Yeah.
it gives it. I don't know. It gives me this. I had it on my toast this morning, and I really enjoyed it.
nice.
I had like this nice bourbony taste, this bourbon smoky taste on my honey.
Yeah. And then this one is the other Bourbon County barrel aged. This one is aged in 10-year-old Kentucky straight rye barrels from the Parker Heritage Collection, aged for 2 full years. So
Nice.
there we go. add those to the rainy day collection of when I freaking need a really good stout. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you, Skull. Skull has been a moderator on the channel since 2018. So 8 years together almost. Skull and Rev both. Skull and Rev were my first two mods on the channel, and they have both been since I think April 2018 is when both of them were officially moderators. They've been on the Discord, I believe, since February and March of that year, and I started the Patreon because people were clamoring, "Hey Jeff, do you have a Discord server?" And I'm like, I don't know that I want to just do like an open Discord server. That seems like hell.
It is.
I don't want to do that.
I'm probably going to delete mine because it's only spam.
Honestly,
well, no, it's more spam than it's. I don't want to deal with it.
It's just it's too much all over the place. No focus, no buy-in, no investment, and that's what I wanted for my community. And honestly, it's because I knew about yours and a couple others that I had seen from around, and I'm like, I don't know that that's the way I want to manage this. And so I went, I'm going to put up a moat around mine. $1, I'll lower the drawbridge.
Yeah, and it's all it takes. As long as they have some level of investment, you are good. You know what I mean? That's all it needs.
Right. Exactly. So I set that up, and I set that up in February of 2018. April 10th of 2018, I published the most popular video ever on my channel by more than double, and that is my Wish.com unboxing video, where I got over 2 million views in like 3 weeks. And it just exploded. And I went from 10,000 subscribers to 50,000 subscribers, literally in 2 weeks. And as part of that, I also gained like 100 people in the Discord.
It just solidified it.
It was like 20 of us. And we were just like literally get in there, hang out, chat, tell stories, that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's like 150 people in here. We probably need some level of moderation. And so I randomly reached out to Skull and Rev. They were the two who have been on around the longest, seemed fairly mature, had solid heads about them, kind of thing. And I'm like, hey, would you guys be willing to mod? And both of them went, actually, we already mod Discord servers that are like in the thousands, so we'd be happy to. And rest is history, and they've been here ever since. So
that's fantastic.
Skull, Rev, Novella's a recent addition. Novella's also been in the server. Gosh, he's been around since like 2019. I want to say Novella has. Yeah, Novella's a recent addition as a mod. He's in here now. He's the newest member. But awesome team, you guys rock. Thank you so much. And thank you for the beer.
Oh, you taking off?
Yeah, I'm gonna take off. So.
All right. This is my friend Jeff. He ran a live stream. So
excellent, excellent. We'll leave you and cool mouse pads because who doesn't need those? So.
I do. Thank you. All right, man.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
We'll see you next
Take
time.
care.
So, yeah.
All right, catch you around.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Why not?
Yep.
So that's one of my friends that's hanging out with. Some people may know him. His name's Chris Tiffany. He owns a company called Sprinter. They do get it in the frame. They do a lot of large scale infrastructure projects. So that's what he was here helping me bid today.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so I've been hanging out with him since 7 a.m.
Nice.
But I said I have a live stream to do, and they went to the cigar bar down the street. I said I'm not a big cigar person, but they went and had cigar and bourbon with a few of my friends.
Nice.
And my wife. And so they're all now upstairs at my house. But I said, look, don't come. Well, I said don't come down, but my wife said just say he's getting on a plane. So he said he came down and say goodbye.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. A little bit of gaming news. So one of the main reasons I didn't attend CES was I kind of looked around at all the announcements. I get some pre-briefings from companies. Companies will reach out and say, hey, we're doing CES things. Do you want to hear our spiel on the 28th or whatever? And I'd hear the spiel and I'm like, well, that's not overly exciting. And then I'd hear the next companies and they're like, oh, not great. There's like nothing going, and then the vibes for all the companies I didn't know about were like, hey, are you coming? We'd love to schedule a booth visit with you. And I'm like, what are you showing off? And they're like, well, we've got some things. I went, okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get on a plane for some things. Like, and so I'm like, yeah, it's just too much. And I'm still worn out from travel last year. Like, because, I mean, you and I went to North Carolina and hung out with 45 Drives. That was week 5 of 7 for travel for me. Like, I was not home those 2 months, like, at all. And I'm still tired from that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I've cut back because I'm trying to decide what I'm going to go to, and I currently have a motorcycle trip in my plans. That's it. I'm doing an off-roading trip with some friends. Like that is the extent of what Tom has planned. Because my wife's bugging me because my wife still works in the IT MSP industry, so she's traveling to all these events. She's going to be going to RSA and everything else. Yeah. So I don't have to pay for hotels for all that. I just have to buy my flight. Yeah. But I even decide, do I want to go? Right. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah,
the networking is fun, and I miss hanging out with some people, but a couple people that I wanted to see, I had just hung out with like the month before, and so I was like, I don't know that I need to go to Vegas just to have a couple more drinks with them. Like,
well, and I've had, including present company included, several friends that have all flown in. It's one of the reasons I had to skip the last one from friends that came in and out of town and things like that. And I helped some other friends move here. They decided they want to live in Michigan, so I was like, So I'm kind of like, well, they're all coming here to me. So yeah. One day you'll wander over to Detroit.
Yep.
Maybe when you're ready to travel again.
I've been meaning to make it up to Detroit for quite a while. In fact, that was on my plans when I resigned from my job in 2020, was to start making some like regional trips. And you were on my list of people I wanted to come see. Because
come stay here. We got a spare room.
Yeah, because I've thought about doing like little regional trips where I fly into one place and then I see one person and do a video with them, and then drive to the next town and do a video with them, and then drive around and do a video with them, and then fly home and make like a 1 week trip and do like 3 collabs. I think that just sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
The challenge is you would do one with me and I can't name the next person because they're not here in Michigan.
Right.
There's no driving to the next one.
Right. The problem is, like, I could do Minnesota, and I could check, like, 3 people off the list just in, like, Minnesota. You know, we talked about,
several of our friends that were there.
Several friends that are Minneapolis area and whatnot. Yeah. But then it's like, okay, to get to Tom, I got to go down and over and up. No.
Yeah. There's just no... I can't really... Unless you're a Lions fan... or a car enthusiast, I can't really compel you to come to Detroit. Oddly, Jeff is both.
I am both, right. Detroit's been on my list to visit for a long time, regardless of Tom. Like I just want to go.
Jeff likes 2 things that are here in Detroit. That's 2 more things than most people like here in Detroit.
Right, exactly. So yeah, maybe this next year we'll try to, or this year as it turns out, try to finally get some of these things going.
Yeah, it is a winter weather advisory. When I not over here, I was looking at the cameras and going, there's a lot of snow. Yeah. And my phone went off to let me know my city is now under a snow emergency. So yeah. This is not the time to visit.
Yep. So. All right. Anyway, one of the things that I was less than enthusiastic to see at CES was Intel was going to officially break ground on Panther Lake, their new mobile architecture, successor to Meteor Lake. Meteor Lake, pretty good architecture. I think a pretty good reboot of Intel as a performance brand, especially on the mobile side of things. They did a couple of things out of the gate really, really nicely with Meteor Lake, including the switch over to Intel Arc graphics with Meteor Lake, although not all that performant, but within 20% of where AMD was, which is pretty respectable for a company that is kind of brand new to making full-on APU packages like this. Well, one of the events that I was at in September was Intel doing a soft launch for Panther Lake as part of the Fab Tour in Chandler, Arizona. And so they did a little bit of a dive into Panther Lake, and I've got to say, those presentations were some of the worst presentations I've ever seen for a product launch ever.
I remember you talking about it.
They were awful.
Not good.
Not
worth flying up there for. I remember that was not one of your. You're a little disappointed in that trip.
I was pretty disappointed with that trip. Yeah. It could have been an email, and it was 5 days. And it was 5 days at a really nice hotel, but it was 5 days at a really nice hotel that was 30 minutes from anything. And
so you can't even do something else.
DoorDash something. It was nice, but not where I wanted to be that time, and not time very well spent. Single vendor events should be 2 days, not 5. But anyway, so they did a soft launch for Clearwater Rapids, or Clearwater Forest, excuse me, their 288 core Xeon chip, and they were trying to include comparisons to Granite Rapids, or Sierra Forest, and they said it tops out at 128 cores. It's like, no, we know there's 288 core versions available. And they're like, no, they're not. We kind of toyed with those, but they're not like real chips. And I'm like, really? Because I can rent one on a Chinese web server right now. And I can do bare metal testing right now. And so we all kind of called out Intel at that event for that. But then also the Panther Lake presentation, they talked a little bit about performance. They talked a little bit about some of the new architecture and whatnot. They demoed... For the graphics, they really didn't talk about performance of the graphics. They simply talked about frame generation coming to XeSS, which is Intel's DLSS FSR competitor, and how they can do 4x frame gen now. And I went, okay, cool. And I said, well, in what games? And they said, well, here's this weird mobile game port that we're testing everything and that no one's ever heard of, that is pre-release, so no one has any benchmark data for it whatsoever. Look, here it is running at 30 FPS, and here it is running at 120. 4x scaling. And I went, yeah, that tells me nothing. I don't know the game. I don't know the engine. I don't know comparison. Like, and all they said was, like, 30% faster than Meteor Lake. And I'm like, well, Meteor Lake was okay. And we all left leaving just going, that was awful. And I even got a little bit more information about Panther Lake beforehand, and the information was bad. And I didn't even watch the Intel keynote at CES, but I guess the keynote was even worse. Like, it was a worse version of the keynote that I got. But Intel may have sold Panther Lake short. There's some people who are really stoked about Panther Lake, and some early performance numbers are coming out where they're not only competitive with AMD's latest APU products in like the HX370, 16 core plus 16 compute unit of RDNA 3.5 graphics. They're actually straight up beating them in some cases, especially once you add XeSS. Not simply like, oh, our frame gem is better. No, like they're beating them in raster and ray tracing, and then they have better frame gen on top of that. Like, I think Intel is sitting on...
Will 2026 be the year of Intel?
It really could be. Which, if it is, I'm going to have to eat some words and take back some criticisms of this architecture, because when I got back from this trip, one of the cool things that Intel gave us on this trip was Lego models of their CPU packages. And so we got a Clearwater Forest, and then we got a Panther Lake Lego kit that we could assemble, and it shows all the individual dies and components and things, and it's a cool kit. I used that kit to bash Intel, going, you're overcomplicating things. You've taken the concept of chiplets, which is a good concept to reduce the amount of components you produce and reduce your complexity in order to get you a better net product, and you've thrown that all out the window in to bring in Foveros and this assembly technology that you're basically gluing everything together with, and you're tripling the cost of the components. You're still making more components than you were before, because the chiplets aren't interchangeable at all. You can't just drop a 12 compute unit or a 16 compute unit GPU in a space where a 4 compute unit GPU does. You have to re-engineer the whole base tile substrate, and then it has to fit within the CPU tile design. So they have multiple different tile sizes and arrangements and things. It didn't seem like the right answer. But at the end of the day, it's all about performance. And I think Intel undersold the performance. And we could be looking at kind of a renaissance of not only Intel CPU, but also like the coming of Intel GPU tech into a space that AMD has dominated for the last 5 or 6 years in mobile handhelds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that AMD's really taking over. I'm looking over now. When I look in this direction, I'm looking at the Framework laptop that I play games on now because it is stupid fast.
Yeah.
And it's got the, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with numbers, but the Ryzen AI chip, is it 395?
Yeah. Is it the Strix Halo laptop?
Yeah, the really, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 395. Yeah.
Yeah. It is crazy how fast this is.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is like one of the fastest. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Mac is fast at all the video stuff and things like that. But I love how I just crank the game up to ultra. This has got the mobile 5070 in it with the framework, the whole kit. It's just like, this is nice.
Yeah. Oh, I think you have the HX370 then, which is their 16 core mobile part. But it has the smaller APU, which
it's the one that Frameworks. Yeah. It's Frameworks top of the line one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's the 370.
I just gotta look it up. And I'm terrible with numbers. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the AI HX370, which is a 16 core Zen 5 part, and that CPU is freaking incredible.
Yeah, really impressive, and even for LLM loads. So it'd be interesting to see that Intel gets back in there because I wouldn't even dreamt of having an Intel lately. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like you said, the handheld gaming, and I gotta admit, I've not bit the bullet. I know you have some of the handheld ones. I've been thinking about them a little bit because I got to find the right game is the challenge for me.
Yeah.
But I did finish Ghosts of Tsushima, and I might play the second one, and I'm like, a good fast handheld might make that game fun. That game plays well on the controller.
Yeah.
I'm too into the first-person shooter games and some of the dumb ones at that. I'm just now playing the Serious Sam, one of the Serious Sam games I got on Steam sale for a little while. I started playing it, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And I know people can tell me it's just cheesy, shitty game, and I'm like, I'm fine with this. I'm enjoying it.
I love cheesy games. They're sometimes the best. I don't.
The Serious Sam series, that's basically its entire thing. It's just way too many, lots of bullets, lots of enemies, and lots of stupid.
Yep.
And cheesy lines.
I got to get you into Crab Champions.
That's the one I forgot. I got to get that one.
You got to get Crab Champions. We have a full role on our Discord server now called Crabbed Computing. CRABT Computing. Yeah. And there's 15 of us who jam on Crab Champions, and it's great. And it's exactly that.
Since I'm probably purging my Discord, I will go wander into yours, and I got to find some games to play. That's on my list, especially because I'm snowed in right now. So.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no. Digital Foundry put out a video where they've done kind of a preview set of benchmarks on the Core Ultra X9 388H, which is their largest GPU. And here's the results in Cyberpunk. 14 FPS on the AI9 HX370, which is AMD's top of the line standard APU, not their Strix Halo, but their Strix Point. And then compared to a Radeon RX 6600 desktop GPU, you're beating the handheld, or you're beating the mobile part, and you're equaling what honestly Steam is aiming at for their Steam Machine performance. That was supposed to be right around an RX 6600, maybe a touch faster. You're right in that ballpark of what Steam is going to sell at retail for their gaming console. Sweet.
You know, kind of coming back to the Steam thing, it's crazy because I think what we were set up for is hoping there'd be something amazing at CES when we already got something amazing from Steam with the foliated, we have all this announcement we're excited about.
Yeah.
And why isn't anyone else copying them? Is Steam, is it they just have that much more money for R&D, or they're just that much more thought put into their product or something? I don't know.
I think it's the level at which they go for the engineering and the thought of how consumers actually use their hardware. Because Nintendo does this too, where when everyone was going, Xbox and Call of Duty and all these like really hardcore intense games, Nintendo went, screw it, Wii Sports. And outsold the entire console generation twofold. Because they appealed to the mainstream, the everyone. The people who weren't necessarily going to buy a games console, but when like, you know what, bowling sounds like fun every once in a while. I like Mario. I like these other couple of things. Sure, part of the Wii was a gimmick, but it also sold really well and was very intuitive and friendly to everyone to use. When the Switch came out, it was like, oh, this underpowered piece of like, if you looked at reviews for the Switch in 2016, God, they came out with a new Zelda title. It can't even run at 20 FPS solid. You know what? Breath of the Wild got Game of the Year at 20 FPS. It's not about performance. It's about gameplay, experience, playability, accessibility. Nintendo excels at that. So does Valve. The products that Valve come out with, they're not necessarily designed to be the market leader. What they're designed to do, and what I've often said that Valve does a lot of, is Valve will set the bar that they want the industry to meet them at. It's a reference design. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want consumers to buy your product, here's the minimum viable product. Here's why it is that. Here's why we designed the Steam Deck the way we did. It is ergonomic. You can reach all the controls. It is comfortable in your hands. It is still lightweight. It has a good enough screen. It has good enough Wi-Fi. It's fast enough. It's not the best. We're not trying to make the best. We're trying to make something that's accessible and affordable and usable. And Valve exceeds at that. And
yeah, because, I mean, by a lot of measures, you'll look at the Apple headset and go, that has a higher frame rate, etc. But it's once down. It's niche. It's expensive. It's outside of a lot of price range of people. It's not the best gaming experience. It's not designed to be a gaming experience. It's heavy on your head.
Yeah. I mean, I went and test drove a Rivian R1T, and like, oh, that's a gorgeous car. I'd love this truck. It's got every feature, every bell whistle. It's wood interior, leather, 3 types of leather all bound into everything. It's got Qi charging and an inverter in the bed, and it can power my house and all this kind of crap. You know what I did? I spent $7,500 on a Chevy Bolt. Because, you know what? I'm driving in town. I can put a trailer on this thing. I don't need an $80,000 vehicle. A $10,000 vehicle is going to do just fine.
It's a want, not a need.
It's a want, not a need. Right.
I watched several videos on it and go, I kind of want it. Oh, I don't need it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. God, it's good.
It is. It is. Well, and their design center down the street from me, so
yeah,
it's about 15 minutes from here.
Yeah,
maybe 20. I don't know. Depends how fast I drive.
In like,
if I have a Rivian, I could get there really fast.
Yeah. In like 4 or 5 years, if I can get one used for like 35 grand, that's definitely going to be the truck that I get. Yeah. But for right now, it's like, no, I just needed a little efficient charge at home, go anywhere, do anything hatchback. That's what I got.
I don't know. Toyota Hilux does sound pretty good too, though.
Love
Whistle Diesel's bought all of them, hasn't he?
Yeah, probably.
At one time, I remember he bought like a dozen or 2 dozen of them. Yeah. He just did that to do the things he does and racked the He's clickbait.
Yep. Good clickbait, but clickbait.
Good clickbait. But life worked in reverse for him. He built the Killdozer, and then the government came after him.
Right.
He did it backwards.
Yeah, you got to hold back on that one, man. Like,
oh man, fun times.
Yeah.
At least the whiskey's the part that matters.
Good. Let's see. I guess speaking of Strix Halo, Minis Forum is finally introducing their ITX version of Strix Halo. A couple of months ago, I did a review of Minis Forum's all-in-one desktop with Strix Halo. Really impressed with it. Got pretty solid performance out of it. But it's also like $2,300. I mean, it's expensive. It's a very expensive platform. Now, Minis Forum is coming out with a DIY version of Strix Halo. So here it is. It's an ITX motherboard. It has the Ryzen AI 9 395 Plus, which is the top-end SKU, 16-core, 32-thread of Zen 5, plus 40 compute unit of RDNA 3.5, 128 gigabytes of LPDDR6 memory. That is fully configurable for all CPU, all GPU, or anything in between. So if you want 96 gigabytes of GPU, memory, cool. That's your platform to do it on. I didn't see that they had a price announced yet, and I'm often in contact with Minis Forum, and they haven't mentioned a price to me yet either. But man, if this comes in $1,000 or $1,200, I think that's a pretty darn good value for a what could be a DIY machine. What I would love to see is we covered a couple of months ago some leaks about some additional AMD SKUs that were going to be smaller CPUs, maybe 8 or 12 core CPUs, but have the same GPU and the same memory bandwidth. And so maybe an 8 core version with 64 gigs of RAM that has the same 8060S graphics processor on board. I would love to see something like that come in for like a $799, because that's 8 or 12 cores of Zen 5 plus essentially an RTX 4060 level graphics performance for $800.
I think between Minis Forums and B-Link, we're seeing what I thought would happen sooner, but really a takeover of all these mini PCs of being.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it would be sooner, but it's here, and it's fast, and it's interesting, but B-Link and Minis Forums just leading the pack on it.
Yep. I mean, Framework's right there as well. They're not so much into the mini PC, but they also do have an ITX version of their Framework's Strix Halo board. And they're very DIY friendly with a lot of the things that they do. Interesting to see, another product like this coming out. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm curious to see what it ends up being on release. I believe it's going to be coming out in a couple of months still.
So I seen someone say the most expensive thing in your garage is your rack. Even more so with RAM prices increasing so much, it's like appreciated in value.
I don't know if you were here. So I built myself a new rack back behind me. A lot of my servers were in storage. A lot of I'll review like a really like my Granite Rapids box was in storage because it's like I don't have room in the rack. It takes too much. I have to shut my entire rack down to be able to power this thing on my home circuit, and so it's like I'm not going to use it, so it's got to go somewhere. But that has 1.5 terabytes of DDR5 in it, and I'm like, I should probably get that out of the storage unit right now because that's like $50,000 in RAM just sitting there.
Just sell it. Like this.
I've thought about it.
I've debated about selling a couple of things I have just because I can't believe what they're worth. I'm like, and they're not that old. I just don't need them anymore. And I'm like, well, I even have my old gaming laptop. And I'm like, I looked at my gaming laptop that I bought a while ago for $500 going, it's going for $800 on eBay right now.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy these.
Yeah.
Well, with the amount of RAM in it and the processor and everything, because everything's so damn expensive.
Yeah. All of my DDR5 servers were out and about. Like one of them was in my garage, one of them was still in the rack, but it wasn't powered on, and then I had the other one in storage. I moved them all into here. There's 3 terabytes of DDR5 behind me, just in that rack.
I just had a customer, and they were lucky enough that they locked in for the price.
Oh yeah.
But they told me the price difference before and after, because they were debating about buying 2 of these setups, just because they're on RAM. There was a $20,000 delta. They're like, and they said only by ordering it a week later was $20,000 more because of the RAM.
Yep.
I was like, this is so crazy.
Yep.
I sound like all the silver stackers. Yeah. I mean, it's weird seeing RAM and all that go up. I don't know Do I regret selling it now? Do I regret not holding it and selling it in a month from now when it goes so scarce that it's even more expensive? Where's the party stop?
Yeah. If it goes much higher, I might end up having to sell some of my DDR5. Like,
it's so tempting. I mean,
really
the amount of money you can get for it, you're not using it. You're just like,
it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. We did get some super chats. Let's see. Jason chimes in with $5. Thank you again, Jason. Much appreciated. No issues with vibe coding. Oh, did we already say that one? Oh, yeah. Okay, we already did that one. There's the one, Jay. Jay chimes in with another $5. Thank you again, Jay.
Thank you.
I've honestly learned a ton from writing 2 applications with Claude Code, excuse me.
Claude Code, yeah.
As long as you're paying attention, it is really an amazing tool. Yeah. And like I said, I have no problem with people using AI as a jumping off point, as a starter, as a learning tool, even as an enhancement of your workflow. I've demoed a couple use cases from, virtual production sets for like AI generating images, or even just storyboarding out concepts so you don't have to sit there and hand draw everything. And okay, cool. Now we have a plan of action. Let's go execute. Like, I have no problem with AI being used in that way. Right. It's the, hey, I'm going to bash out this really, complicated application. I'm going to hit enter and then hit publish. You didn't check it. You didn't verify. You didn't validate anything. You didn't make sure it wasn't stolen. You didn't verify it worked. That's the bad kind of vibe coding.
Yeah, and it's worse because there's people who have one version of AI kicking out a pitch deck while the other one kicks out the code, and they're seeking funding for this terrible product. Mm-hmm. That's coded in reverse with, completely client-side verification for everything. And then it gets out in the market and we have more security issues to deal with.
Yep. Yeah. Do you know how many ad reads I have turned down for AI coding universities?
They are now like the VPN of the creator world of getting, we can do mattress reads, we can shill a VPN, or now we can shill a vibe coding class.
They've surpassed World of Tanks, honestly. Like,
yeah. I send them incredible numbers because there is a number at which I will read a slot. So I sometimes reply.
All of the ones that I've gotten in have been will you do a full dedicated video? No, because I'm not a programmer and I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you want me to if you are simply a paid service and you want me to do an advertisement for that, cool. I'll read an ad for you. And I'm happy to give you an FU price for it.
Yeah. You know what though? This is where there's a fun opportunity we're missing here. Neither one of us are programmers.
Yeah.
But if this tool could make us programmers, that's the fun video. Can Tom and Jeff write something with this stupid app that someone gave us and told us to make a video on? There's some value in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we understand the generals of what we want to get done.
Right.
We know not to do client-side verification, but that neither one of us are coders.
Right.
So we have some concepts in our head. So could this allow me and you to write something? That actually, there's something fun about that.
Yeah. There might be a concept there. There might definitely be a sponsored opportunity there.
Yeah. I see. At nearly 40, a good mattress piques my interest. I haven't seen anyone do a good deep dive on this, but as I understand it, many of these mattress companies are all the same.
Yes.
It's all just marketing.
Yep.
So they're not really any different than the mattresses you buy. Mm-hmm. They're just buying them wholesale and having some influencer read an ad, and that's what they're doing for marketing versus a mattress store that has a going out of business sale every other week on it.
Right.
Because this is a different advertising.
Yep.
Same shadiness level, just different venue.
Yep. Yeah. I've had a couple different mattress companies reach out just to run adverts. I've declined them simply because that is so much work to go. Like, I'm a father of 3 in a very busy household. I don't have time to swap out my mattress on a whim just so I could shoot a video in my bedroom for it. Like, I don't have that kind of time. And it's like, thanks, no thanks. I will say that when we moved into our house, I did buy a purple. I bought a purple 3, and I freaking love it. It's been great for the last 6 years. I've slept on that mattress, and it's been fantastic. So if you want a genuine recommendation, purple 3. That's what I bought.
Yeah, we have some. I don't know. My wife bought it. We're happy with it. We've had it for years, so I can recommend it, but I can't remember the brand. But some memory foam thing. That's why I think they're all like anyone I knew that has one of these relatively expensive memory foam ones are like, oh, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Ours was $2,800. Like, it was not inexpensive. But also for like a quality mattress, like, I don't think that was exorbitant either. Like, it was a good solid middle of the road option. We looked at a couple beds that were $4,000. We looked at a couple that were like $1,200, and we're like, yeah, this one feels right. You know, we actually went to a store that was a purple authorized dealer to buy one. We laid on it, tested it, felt it, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, we'll do that. So we ordered it, went and picked it up, like old school mattress shopping. And like I said, I've had no complaints for it. So there you go. Genuine review. Cosworth sends over another $5, or $2, excuse me. He's got a couple here. Tom, have you considered spreading democracy? You know what that's referring to?
Assuming it was a crab reference, wasn't it?
No, that's Helldivers 2.
Oh, Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
I have not played that.
Yes.
That's
My
also
son
really
said
I wouldn't like it for some reason, but I think he might be wrong. I see people talking about it. It looks fun.
I think it's fun. Yeah, it is. It's a caricature of the macho marine, you know, going out to the universe and spreading freedom and democracy. And we're going to go out and we're going to kill everything on this planet in the name of revolution or you know.
We found oil. We must liberate the oil.
Yes. Yeah. It is. Yeah. That's the like undertone of the.
Got it.
And it's fun, and it's genuinely a good game. It's a third person swarm based bullet hell kind of game. Little bit of RPG progression. So permanent progression. You get you unlock weapons and mods and upgrades and abilities and things like that. But genuinely fun. Genuinely a fun multiplayer game.
Yeah. See, Starship Troopers without being Starship Troopers. Got it.
Yes. Also, yeah. There's bugs. There's slime. There's snakes. There's robots. But yeah, you're going into the universe and spreading democracy. Cause with another $5. Valve, what happens when a for-profit company stays private? I reference Lego as well. Yeah, they can care about what their customers want and what makes them the most money without having to appease shareholders and these wild-ass ideas of integrating AI into every nook and cranny of everything simply for the sake of saying we are an AI company now. You've got Valve as, you know, kind of this lone standout of a privately held gaming company. And they just freaking print money. And...
yeah. It's interesting. I was having a great conversation with one of my friends, John. He built a company. He's built, I think, more than one, but he exited his last company, sold it. And I love it because when we had a conversation, I was like, what are you doing? Because he sold his company in beginning of December. And I was like, what are you doing for the next few months? He goes, I am finishing my Steam library and I will not do anything else until that's finished. So he goes, around March, I'm going to start in our company. I was like, that's great. But one of our conversation pieces that was funny was talking about what happens when and why he doesn't take private equity for that. He's self-funding his next startup. He's already got the idea planned out for what he's building. But what's interesting is he goes, you know, I have this whole premise of businesses are not designed to make money. They're designed to make a product or service, and through the quality of that product or service and the reach it has, that money is a secondary function of it. Yeah. But John really pointed out to me, he says, oh, absolutely, you're right. He goes, the purpose of PE and VC firms is to make money. That's the only reason. He goes, and the moment you surrender control to them, you become their zombie that only cares about how much money you can squeeze out of things. Right. And things. That's why he's always had like this firm retain control. He does a lot of micro raises is what I think they're called in the SaaS world. Because I'm probably going to buy into his next company, and it's just interesting because it's like from a concept standpoint, he's not wrong, and Valve has been able to, because they don't need to raise external funds because they're so damn profitable.
Yeah.
They've been able to pursue their passion and just focus on their passion, which I think really sets them apart. And Lego, we'll definitely agree with Lego. They're like, we make blocks.
Yeah. Yeah. We're an injection molding company who is really, really darn good at marketing and licensing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've done a great job of all of that.
Yep. They're an injection molding plastic company. That's all they do. ABS plastic, put it in a mold, sell it. That's what Lego is. I'm super proud that, OpenViro so far, we're not taking VC funding. I won't ever. I will never say never when it comes to I'll sell it, because at the end of the day, I'm in this to make money. Like, I want to provide this service, and I think this is a hole in the market and definitely something that can benefit a lot of people. But that's also why I'm open sourcing it. If you want to install this on your own hardware, go right ahead. That being said, I do have a brief update for OpenViro for those who are interested. We received all of the probe units in. That is the actual thermal probe components, fully assembled. I've been testing those out, and so far, excellent. We are still waiting on the main boards to arrive. Those still have not shipped from the factory. I believe there was a slight delay in one of the components for our boards. So we are waiting for those. We did receive the aluminum cases. So the main enclosures are in. I need to start 3D printing enclosures for the thermal probes themselves. Now that I have the probes in, I can verify final fit and make any tweaks to the design that I need, and we can get those printed and published and ready to go. The main boards, I need to get a final version of the main board in so I can verify the fit and finish of the end caps that need to be laser cut, and still need to get a vendor for those lined up. So all the little logistics of running your own company with what is like 14 different individual components, and then 95 components on the board itself. Bringing it all together and making a retail product. God, it's so much fun.
It's all those extra things you didn't think about until you have to think about them.
Right.
Like, well, there's one more thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love people. How hard could it be? Just order it and ship it. Like, no. No. If you want to pay $400, you could order it and ship it. That's fine. But I wanted to keep the price at $150. So, guess what? I get to do a lot of legwork. Takes time.
See someone say Lego almost went bankrupt and have their building burned down twice. Yeah, I don't know all the history of it, but they're just a fascinating company because they've been around for a long time. They've stuck to what, despite expanding in the market in some ways and having a lot of options and keeping up with technology and being able to design your own Lego things and things like that. It's still at the core, everything to enhance the core of their product and their offering. I do like it. My son's built a few cool Lego cars and things like that. Like they got some really fancy stuff. I've always loved the Lego engines and what was the mindset? Was it called? Well, the ones that you could
Mindstorms.
What was that?
Mindstorm.
Yeah, Lego Mindstorm. Which I know that's part of the discontinued things they had, but when I was younger, that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was solidly in my time coming up. They had for like Windows 98. They had basically robotics kits that you could build things out with.
I loved it.
You could model them in the computer, in the software, and tell them the motions that you wanted it to do, and then program the controller, and then IRL build that robot, put the controller where it needed to go and all the motors and things like that, and it would do the functions that you just emulated on the computer. Like it was like introductory CAD. It really mechanical design. It was really, really cool.
And there's like entire generations of people now that I believe are into the engineering because of that experience they had with it. It's I don't know, it's a fascinating company. They have something to be proud of there, to think that they inspired a non-zero number of engineers to kind of pursue that career and give them easy access to, even at a young age, to a lot of these building block components and go, hey, we can build it like this as a prototype.
Yep. Yildaith, I believe I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I did not. Sends over 30 Swedish krona. Thank you so much. Ever tried PLX PCIe switches on consumer boards? I've actually not. I've got a couple of different components that have used PLX switches on them. Good example is a lot of NVIDIA's dual GPUs. In fact, I have a GTX 690 sitting right over here. That's a dual GTX 680 on a single card. That has a PLX switch in the middle. And technically, I guess my Thunderbolt dock has a PLX switch that I'm using for the Mac, because it's going over 4x lanes, but it gives me 2 X16s in this enclosure, which is pretty fantastic. No, I haven't done a lot with PLX. One of the main problems with PLX, for most applications, is that you're still limited by the bandwidth of whatever port that you're using. So if let's say you have a PCI Express 3.0 X16 slot, yeah, I could technically put 4 X16 lanes on that via a PLX switch. But if I'm using something like a GPU, I don't have enough bandwidth for more than 1.5 of those GPUs to run. Or network cards. Network cards often fly right to the limit of what PCI Express will let them do for whatever generation they are. Like when 10 gig came out, you could get a PCI Express 2.0 X8 card with a single 10 gig slot on it. Guess what? That's 9.6 gigabytes per second.
Yeah.
Or gigabit per second. That's your bandwidth of your PCIe card, which happens to match the bandwidth of the Ethernet. You can't expand that out and put 2 10 gig cards in or a 100 gig card in. Doesn't work. So they're cool for expanding to multiple devices, especially if you have like NVMe, where you want to RAID things together and you go, okay, well, it's going to transfer at the mean rate of that port, but I also get the latency advantage of multiple NVMe drives running through the single thing. Fantastic application for that. For some AI workloads where you're not necessarily pushing bandwidth, but you just need the memory on the local card. You know, you're only pushing 20% of the bandwidth of your slot anyway. Cool. I can load up 5 cards on that slot. We're good to go. But for most applications with PCI Express, it is bandwidth limited, and they have their use cases, but they're not universal.
Yeah. Well, it's like when everyone gets excited when they see those PCIe cards with 4 NVMEs on them or more of them, and they're like, oh yeah, do you support bifurcation? Are you going to be able to even support this in your board? And you're going to run into bandwidth limitations. It's not like, oh, I'll just solve this problem with this.
Right. Yep. No, you're still limited by your narrowest pipe.
Yeah.
And as Vince points out, you can get PCI X 10 gigabit cards, which is just stupid. PCI 166 bus. Some of them ran at 266. Vince, what's the bus speed of that PCI X? Is that a 166 or a 266 card? I'm curious. Clearly, Zeus chimes in with $5. Thank you, Zeus. Clearly, Jeff hasn't put his 10 gigabit NIC in PCI Express 2.0 X2 M.2 slot of his BC250 yet. Shake my head.
I mean, why not?
I did put a 100 gig card into my Thunderbolt enclosure and connect it to my Mac just for shits and giggles. That was fun. I got about 16 gigabit on a 100 gig connection.
That's fast enough to move some video.
Right. So, but it's also using 3 times the power and 3 times the heat generation of my 10 gig.
I didn't see it as a practical way to do it.
Right. And so I swapped that back out for my 10 gig card.
We know it's supported now, and that's the important part.
Vince says 266, 64-bit. Sweet. What is the actual throughput of that then? That'd be, because I want to know if you can actually sling 10 gig line rate over a PCIX card. All right. Let's see. What else we got in the news today? What is this one that you added of the British police and Microsoft Copilot? I didn't get a chance to read this one beforehand, but I'm intrigued by the headline.
So, the British police use Copilot, and it hallucinated and ended up banning players from a game. Just read through this. It's not The Onion.
This is from Gizmodo. British police used Microsoft Copilot for faulty report that led to ban on soccer team fans.
Yeah.
Microsoft's AI assistant hallucinated a soccer match. Police force in the UK has admitted to relying on Microsoft's AI assistant Copilot in the fabrication of a faulty intelligence report. Late last year, the Israeli soccer team Maccabi Tel Aviv played against British Aston Villa in a game in Birmingham, UK. Prior to the game, a Birmingham safety committee decided to not allow Maccabi Tel Aviv fans to attend the game, basing the decision on an intelligence report from the West Midlands Police deeming the match high risk for hooliganism. Details of that report were later heavily contested by government officials. Now West Midlands Police Chief Constable Craig Guilford has admitted that his subordinates relied on Microsoft Copilot to fabricate the report and failed to fact-check its findings.
We wonder why we don't want Copilot stuffed into all of our stuff.
If you want to know how bad hallucinations are, and this is inherent in every LLM that exists, go watch my last video on LLMs comparing the V100 to a 5090, because I'm kind of a perfect use case. Craft computing is a known entity on the internet and in the tech space. However, I'm not that well known of an entity, and I'm simply a tech tuber. Like it goes, craft computing, tech tuber. Okay. If you ask an LLM about craft computing, especially one that doesn't have access to the internet, it'll go, oh, sure, I know all about craft computing. It's hosted by a guy named Mikey, a former software developer, and he does a bunch of crap with Raspberry Pis and firewalls, and here's his top 10 videos, which, man, if I was producing videos that had that kind of viewership, I'd go by Mikey. That's totally fine. But it completely just talks out its ass.
Yeah.
Just makes things up. And then I challenge it, and I said, hey, do you have any links for instances like what are his top 10 videos? And he goes, oh yeah, here's his number one video with 2.7 million views, and here's a direct link to YouTube/watch ? Blah 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 blah. You click on the link, dead link. Here's the second most watched video, 2.4 million views, blah 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 blah. Raspberry Pis should you Docker? And then here's a direct link, YouTube/watch, blah 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 blah. Click it, dead link. You then go, hey, I don't know if that's right. Can you verify that Mikey is the guy who runs this channel? And it goes, oh, I'm sorry, it's not run by Mikey. That was my mistake. It's actually run by this guy named Josh, Josh Delmore or whatever. But all the other information is correct. And then I went, no, I don't think it is. And you start challenging it. And after a couple of minutes, I got the LLM to admit it was literally just, oh, if this channel existed and if I knew knowledge of it, here's what that knowledge would look like. Because an LLM's goal is not to provide you with knowledge. It's not to look up facts. It is to provide human-readable responses to your questions. That is its primary goal.
And it's not producing what's good. It's not producing what's accurate. It produces what's frequent in its training.
Yes.
And there's a ton of inaccuracies that get absorbed into its training. It's especially when they trained it in Reddit is my favorite go-to example. Reddit's not the place where I go to find the right answer all the time. I will find the best answer upvoted to the top.
Yeah.
The answer that may bring the biggest smile to my face, but won't be accurate in any real way. But AI doesn't know that. It was upvoted to the top. Therefore, glue on pizza must be accurate.
Right. Yeah, but it got all the information wrong, and when challenged, it would double down until you explicitly say, I don't think that's accurate. Are you simply making things up? And it goes, oh yeah, I'm totally making things up. Of course, I'm an LLM. That's what I do. It's not accurate.
No. It's also fun. Just all the fun things it does like that are just so crazy that people want to trust it.
Yeah.
If people want a really good laugh, though, you can gaslight the AI systems.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Reeves did such a hysterical... It's one of his shorts. It's one of the more recent shorts he posted. But he just came up with a way to gaslight ChatGPT. And it is absolutely hysterical because he points out something that not everybody knows about what ChatGPT is doing. First, you have to use the API to make this work. Second, the way a conversation works when you start the chat is AI is appending all of your chat every time you add a new piece to it. Yes. So it goes back to the history, adds that, and it was kind of a dumb, wasteful way to do it, but that's why each version costs more money to run.
Yeah.
But he had an idea to gaslight it by editing its responses via the API. So he edited back all the responses, and it said, give me tips for quit smoking. So it gave him actual tips to quit smoking. He then edited the responses to say, try smoking crack and doing hard drugs. So then when he says, I can't believe you told me to do hard drugs, it said, I didn't say that. He'd say, I did say that. And it would go into a crazy loop on itself and eventually just print gibberish on the screen, like Colonel Dump looking stuff.
That's amazing.
It would just go gibberish because he kept going back and editing the response and re-injecting its response to say, oh no, you told me to smoke crack.
Right.
That's how I should quit smoking. The video just keeps getting funnier and funnier as it goes on because it just keeps dumping raw character dumps on the screen. It doesn't even put words in the screen anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I gaslit AI.
That's great.
I kind of want to play with that whole premise because it's so funny.
Yeah. But, yeah. The reason AI is believable to most lay people is it looks right. It sounds right. LLMs are designed to mimic human speech. It is designed to output text that is human readable, based on human readable text that it's observed in the past.
And the cues at which we measure intelligence, maybe there's a scoring method in our heads. We say people with glasses, nerds, might be a little bit more smart, but language is a defining large, high-weighted factor in how, when we meet a stranger for the first time, how we determine whether or not that person's a moron or not a moron. And because, generally speaking, LLMs have been trained on the average, and I love George Carlin's joke, half the people I know are below average. It's so great. But there's a large number of people that read this and go, wow, that's way better than I talk, and therefore it must be at least more intelligent than me. Yeah. And because we can't tell if AI is wearing glasses or not, so the only thing we really have to tell is this heavily weighted language assessment that we do in our head to determine whether or not the output of that person, or in this case an LLM, is intelligent or not. And I think that's what makes it interesting. Is I've also wondered, I've been trying to figure out what the commonalities are, because there's people who look at it from a very realistic standpoint, maybe me, maybe you, but other people who also work in the technology field who have ascribed agency to it and think it's more than it is, not just a word prediction machine. Yeah. And by the way, I know word prediction machine is a extremely narrowed down. I know how much more complicated it is than that, but it doesn't. I'm just trying to use a descriptor here.
That is kind of the grounding point of it, though. Right.
But that's the grounding point. It still doesn't, even though it is more complicated, and you can watch those great tutorials on Blue Green. Is it Blue Green Red or Red? There's a really good channel that has great tutorials on how the models work, but it's still just a model. It is still just a calculating machine. It is not intelligent. It is not thinking. It is still responsive to your prompts, and that is all. It's still the automaton. Well, what was that? Forever ago, when they used to have those little robots, I think it was in Italy. They called them the automatons, and people would think they were just really fancy mechanical things, but of the day,
Yeah.
people thought they were like living marionettes. And
Yeah.
so they related. I was watching one of those things that kind of related back to how times in history when technology has exceeded what the average person may understand.
Right.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Three blue, one brown. Someone
Gotcha.
got the name right. That's it. It's one of those weird channel names, like, but yeah, we me and Jeff, Craft Computing, Lawrence Systems, we like these little alliteration type things, and a lot of people are like, I'm gonna get a random word generator and make a YouTube channel out of it. Turns out really popular.
Yeah, I mean, it seems all my friends did some variation of their name, and we've got Lawrence Systems, Jeff Gearling, Techno Tim,
Yep.
Veronica Explains. Then there's Jeff with Craft Computing, like,
yeah, Craft Computing.
Yeah.
We like, fun stuff.
Yep. But no, I love the assumption of intelligence based on like the human clues that we usually dive into, and you can be totally wrong, because I've met some really stupid British people and some really smart Southern Louisiana draw people, like and everything in between. But that being said, if I'm rolling in for brain surgery and my surgeon goes, now see, what we gonna do is I'm walking out of that room. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. And so yeah, there's preconceived notions of intelligence that we have. There's markers that we look for, and we can be flat out wrong about them. But AI does a really good job of disguising it, because it gives us back information in a format that is very easy to understand, appears to have cited sources, appears to have an encyclopedic knowledge of all things. But at the end of the day, it has no verifiable way to fact check itself. It has no logic that it can check its own responses against as far as accuracy goes. Its main goal is to give you something you can read that looks right.
Yeah. Now, they do have, and this is how they've slowed down, not eliminated, and this is also the problem with AI, and going into why it can be a little bit bubble, each version has a higher expense because they're using more AI to check the other AI to see if the AI is right.
Yeah.
So instead of your query being to the AI system, it's now to a series of AI systems that all check and see who's got the most accurate results so they can give you more accurate results. So now we've substantially increased the number of queries. One query it branches off into numerous queries. And each of these numerous queries was also fed all your previous queries and its previous responses to try to come up with this. And, all kinds of filtering and heavy, expensive compute time spent to try to give you the least hallucinated response, which, and by the way, each one of your queries costs way more than if you're even paying a subscription at all, the $20 a month subscription, which is why they want to start sticking ads in there, which will cause great levels of confusion. You start responding, and next thing you know, it's an ad for tires or mattresses.
There was a meme that popped up on my feed earlier this week. It was the Hank from Breaking Bad when he realizes that Walter White is Heisenberg. Oh. He's sitting on the toilet doing that, and he gives like that look into the camera. It goes, your teacher when they're reading your report on World War II, and it starts bringing up NordVPN and World of Tanks.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man. It's got to be absolutely rough being a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, in some ways, because there's some teachers that have surrendered. There's kids just popping out crap from AI, and there's teachers just popping that crap back into AI and going, tell me if this kid did this right.
Right? Yep.
Oh, man, that's fun.
What a weird timeline we're in.
Yeah. The British police one just made me laugh because we were talking about Microsoft Enslopification of things, and it's like, this is what happens when the average people get it that don't realize it hallucinates.
Yeah.
And now we've given it to the police.
Well,
not
just like, like I said, I like me using my channel as an example, but we've seen lawyers try to like write up legal arguments with ChatGPT and then submit legal briefs to a judge in which the legal brief completely made up cases and case law and numbers and witnesses and arguments and evidence and previously cited things and everything. And look, it's one thing to use AI, again, coming back to this, as an assistant to your process.
Right.
But where the end product is still your work. And simply letting the AI take your prompt, hitting enter, and then hitting publish. Your work is not replaceable by an AI, at least not yet. And still needs to be verified and vetted by someone who actually knows or can do the research. That's human.
Yeah. Oh, man. So much BS. What are we going to do about it? Complain about it.
Yeah.
On a live show.
You're right. Either that or drink more. So.
As long as we have alcohol, as long as we know how to make it.
That's right.
We got that figured out a long time ago. That is ingrained into us.
Yeah. They tried to take it away once, and that did not go well.
No, they don't. Hopefully they'll learn a lesson on that one.
Yeah.
Catching up on some of the chat, laughing at stuff people are talking about here. Oh, man. You can, for anyone wondering, there's a new website, Have I Been Flocked? In case you're wondering if you're part of any investigations.
Yeah, I have been, who is the guy that's doing the flock research?
Ben Jordan?
Ben Jordan, yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been keeping track of videos that he's posting on that. Including the CEO of Flock sending out an email to all police stations and police departments that utilize Flock cameras and saying there's research going out now that undermines our important work in public safety. It's like, no, we're alerting the public to gross mismanagement of IT security practices, which you should probably fix.
Which you're fixing none of. 404 Media just dropped an interview with Ben that's quite interesting. The people 404 and Ben are probably the two best sources of it. Mm-hmm. There's also been some good presentations at several hacker conferences, including B-Sides. There's been a really good presentation on all the security flaws in Flock. So there's an army of people. Well, it's not an army. A handful of people. I optimistically would say an army, but it is becoming a polarizing thing because a lot of people do not like being tracked, and it actually is one of the few nonpartisan issues. It turns out both sides, maybe for different reasons, but the result's the same. I don't really like people stalking me.
Also, not legal.
Yeah, that too. A whole other problem.
Yeah. Front page of 404 right now. Police unmask millions of surveillance targets because of a Flock redaction
Have I been
error.
blocked?
Yep.
Yeah, a redaction error was an understatement. They actually dumped everyone's
Yep.
license plate out there. So, whoops.
Yep. Hashtag not sponsored. 404 is the only media that I actively subscribe to and pay for a subscription for. So.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
I a huge fan of them.
Yep.
And I also am a Patreon supporter of Ben's. He did something really interesting as a YouTuber. He built a nonprofit company around his YouTube. He started that on purpose so it would not have a profit purpose. Mm-hmm. So I do subscribe to his Patreon to help fund his research. One of my favorite videos, and the first video I found of Ben's, is the title is How to Use Sound to Animals, but it's way more complicated than that. It's essentially the refresh rate that the brains of animals work at. And it is not the same as ours. And it is a deeply scientific and fascinating video that I've shared with several friends who go, whoa, like, why are squirrels so twitchy? They operate at a different refresh rate than you.
Yes.
Matter of fact, it's kind of interesting when you learn what animals can and cannot even see TVs properly because of the refresh rate problem. He covers a lot of that. But, of course, you got to ask the question, well, how do you know the refresh rate of these other animals? I say refresh rate because it's the most technical sounding term. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but it's a great science video. It's a lot of fun, but he talks about all the testing methodologies and how they determine how ducks and dogs and birds, and then you get into the
this research,
refresh rate.
yeah, this research I believe actually started with houseflies, because anyone who's ever tried to swat a fly knows they react immediately.
Yes.
And what they found is animals with super high metabolisms, like flies, that their hearts vibrate at like 1,000 RPM. That is actually the speed at which they react to stimuli around them. Also, their nervous system has this far to travel. So, you know, from stimulation to execution is instinctual and literally just a nerve spasm, but it happens literally instantly. And so you've tried to swat the fly. The fly's already over here. You don't even see the fly leave. You don't even feel your arm get hit until the fly is over here. But yeah, they're finding that different animals, and it is based on like metabolic rate, is your perception of time.
Yes. The flies are interesting because, as he points out in that particular video, is there's a high expense that comes with those high refresh rates of the metabolism. And it's one of the reasons that insects that have this really high refresh rate have to breathe through their bodies and through their exoskeletons, because it literally would not get there fast enough to go through normal blood circulation.
Yeah.
So it's a fun video. He's got a lot of good science videos that I've watched over the years. And so when he started doing the flock ones, I'm glad to see that it got him a lot of attention. He also talks about in that interview that he doesn't want to keep doing a bunch of flock videos. This is not his plan. His plan was to do one and done.
Right.
He says his general rule is to never cover a topic more than once. The topic is covered unless the topic needs to be addressed again at a later date. Matter of fact, something fun he did was he made poison pills in his music for AI. That's a fun video if you didn't see that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen his, but I've seen people doing poison pills or basically markers where it will not only not allow AI to replicate their artwork, but it will also corrupt anything that it uses.
So his background is he made his career and living as a musician and had quite a bit of success selling music on Spotify, etc. And because of that, he realized the AI things were copying music. So he built in poison pills into his own music and then made a bunch of the open source tools to allow other people to do this. So the music you can listen to and it's not in the music, but when the AI hears it, it messes the music up and causes a lot of problems.
Yeah. Good times. Like I said, weird timeline that we're in.
Weird timeline. I don't like the weird timeline that much, but it is what it is.
I miss the old days.
I miss the old days. Everything before 2020.
Yeah. We really didn't know what we had.
We did not.
I've said multiple times when The Matrix came out and they said 1999, the peak of human civilization, we all laughed, and I'm going,
right.
Oh shit.
We didn't expect it to be that right. It's just a movie, right?
They freaking nailed it, man.
We had Lego Mindstorm back then, and we don't have it now.
Right.
See?
Look at all we've lost in the last 25 years. Like, man.
We've lost a lot. Oh, man. Such is life. Didn't know what we had.
Yep.
Can't believe the 90s was 25 years ago. Well, my high school graduation 30 years ago. I'm old.
Yep. Mine was over 20. So.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, man. Are we reaching the end of this?
I think so. And I'm out of ice, and I need to make myself another Kentucky Mule.
Yeah, and I got to crash out, too.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tom. Happy New Year to you. And
Happy New Year's.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. This has been episode 416 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. Like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe, and that would really help us out. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to both myself and Tom over at Lawrence Systems. Link is both down in the video description. Join the Patreon. That helps us keep the lights on around here, keep content coming to you. I've got a lot of really fun things coming up. Some more microcloud stuff coming up. So that's been really fun.
Microcloud's been growing.
It has been. It's running the core of my network now. I've completely switched everything over. My Epic Roam server is off. I am back on X79.
Should you fire up the terabytes of DDR5 though? Don't you need all that?
No, I don't. And that's kind of the point of all this.
Oh well, another day, another episode.
Yep. Maybe I'll do some like performance testing of like a modern server versus this, and like, okay, but you run a Homelab. Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching.